Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another SimSport speed build. I would like to apologize for the delay. This video was supposed to go up on Friday. Was it Friday or Saturday? Yes, Saturday. But no way, it was supposed to go up on Sunday. Sorry, I'm forgetting my schedule. Basically, I was swamped with finals, but my finals are over, and I was going to record and post a video and post it yesterday, and yesterday I mean Sunday. So I'm posting this one on Monday, and we will be back to our regularly scheduled videos. Meaning the next video will be tomorrow on Tuesday, and then I'll follow my Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday schedule. And yeah. So today we are building a farmhouse. I say that because I'm not sure what kind of style it is. At first I wanted to call it suburban, but the reference picture that I was looking at, it really reminded me of a farmhouse. And you know, with me building this in excuse me, Henford-On-Bagley, the world that came with cottage living, I guess it makes sense to just call it a farmhouse. I do add some the plots of farmland for you to grow your crops. And a chicken coop. I totally forgot I added a chicken coop. Yeah. So right now I'm working on the exterior. I won't lie, I was met with a lot of indecision about this house. I think recently I've been building a lot of not very wood panely houses, and I knew the next house that I wanted to build was gonna have wood panel. It's gonna be like a nice suburban, I guess. So this is the result. Yeah. Right now I'm just working on the roof pieces. That little open area you see right there, I originally wanted that to be like an open deck, just like a balcony of some sort. But I do change that later on as I work on the interior. Just because roofing wise, it looks kind of weird, kind of goofy. And I think the top of the house could use some more interesting roofing. So I do make that into a room, not a room, a bathroom specifically. Yeah. So about this house, it is a 3-bed 2-bath, and I built it to be, I mean, okay, the house is kind of small. It doesn't look it, I don't think, but the inside, like the actual living space, is quite small. 2 of the rooms are like 4x4s, and then the 3rd bedroom, the kids' room, is a 3x4. So, but I feel like it's supposed to be bigger, but then I went into the interior, like, oh, this house isn't even that big. It's quite small, actually. You know, which is fine. I was kind of building this in a rush. I was like trying to record this and edit as fast as I could. Oh, and when I started finally editing this video, my computer crashed. So, I decided, that's why I didn't upload on Saturday or Sunday. I decided, you know, I'm not going to bother and just do it later. Yeah. So I think I finished the general exterior of the house. I'm just adding some bare minimum landscaping just to get an idea of how I want the rest of the lot to kind of pan out. Okay, well, I'm changing the columns on the house. I think originally I was using the columns from Cottage Living, but I decided it looked a little busy with the detail on the Cottage Living columns and the paneling, so I switched to the next best plain one, which is the columns from Cats and Dogs. They're not like perfectly straight, but I think that's fine. I think the perfectly straight ones are from Get Together, I think. One of the excuse me, one of the older packs. Oh wow, I'm adding bushes to the trees. I thought I was just gonna add some trees and go work on the interior. Yeah, okay, well I guess I vaguely remember adding some bushes. Just because I know by the time I finish the interior and I work on the exterior, I don't know, I feel like at that point most of y'all might have already be checked out. So I usually end the video like in the middle of me finishing up the landscaping, but I decided to do it first. Just because in a world like Cottage Living, as you can sort of see the background, there's a lot of tree, a lot of nature. I decided, I guess I'll just include it in the video. You know, me trying to replicate how green it is around this lot. Oh, this lot, by the way, is a 30 by 20, and it is built on the 4 Old Mill Lane in Henford-On-Bagley. I believe there's already a house here. I forgot the sim that originally lives here. So I do bulldoze that to build this one instead. I mean, it was cute, but it was kind of small. Not that this one is like that much bigger, but you know, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I think it's a good size, a good portion bigger. Yep, English. Okay. I kind of spit into the interior, huh? Right now I got the general floor plan going. I'm like placing furniture in the kitchen. Okay, so about this kitchen, with this house being like a farmhouse, I wanted to use either the Cottage Living counters or the Parenthood counters. I was really tempted to use the Cottage Living counters, but I think I decided, you know, I've been using them quite often. Might as well go back to my roots to when I first got Parenthood and just use those counters in like every single build I had. I mean, I think the Parenthood counters still kind of give that farmhouse vibe. Well, no, it's more of like counters you'd see in not a farmhouse. I mean, I think they're fine. And the swatch that I wanted to use was that kind of dark blue with the cream counters. Okay, the cream counters, I think those are like the prettiest in the game. Which is, you know, a bit of a stretch, seeing as I don't have all the packs, so I don't actually, you know firsthand what the other counters look like. But those are really cute, you know. And the tile that I use in the kitchen is from StrangerVille. I don't know why I decided, you know, the kitchen should look a little roughed up, and then I decided to completely scrap that idea for the rest of the house. I think the rest of the house is like a mix of traditional and like farmhouse vibes. I don't know if you understand the distinction I'm making between the two. Probably not, but looking back on it now, it's a little bit, it could use some more cohesion. But I mean, besides the kitchen, I think the rest of the house is like fine. So right off the kitchen is the dining area. It is a table pushed up against the window, so it seats 5, but you can sleep up to 6 Sims here. So maybe while someone's eating, the other left out Sim is like watching TV, doing homework, or knitting. Sorry, not knitting. I don't have nifty knitting. I meant crocheting. Yep, a slight look over a slight mishap on my part. Although I won't lie, I started furnishing the rest of the house in a completely different style, and I decided I hated it, cut all of that footage out, and started anew. And this is what came to be. I mean, I think the dining room is like very warm toned. There's like yellow wallpaper. The gingham wallpaper I did not expect to use throughout the entire house. And yet I do. Anyways, dining room. Honestly, I think the dining room's kind of plain. Besides like the table being like the main thing in that area. And this dining hutch, I was surprised to see it. I was looking for something to put on that wall where it is now. I wanted to have a dining hutch, but the ones that I was looking at, I felt a little, felt like it didn't fit the style. But then I stumbled upon that one from Discover University, I believe is where it's from, and placed that. And now I'm working on the entry, and here you see more of the gingham wallpaper, but this time in a blue and white swatch. I don't know, the family that lives here, because I'm calling this a farmhouse, I'm sure they're like in and out of the house, you know, a lot. So I placed some like garden color. You probably can't see it. Anyways, we are now working on the living room. Another room that I struggled for a very long time. I didn't know what kind of couches I wanted to place here. If I wanted to have like the full set from Cottage Living, the couch set from Cats and Dogs, or like that base game couch that I'm using right now. I don't remember what I decided on. I want to say yeah, definitely the Cottage Living couch. I was gonna say, I thought I settled on the base game couch, but I in fact do not. So, about the TV, I usually want to put the TV above the fireplace, but after seeing some Cottage Living builds with the TV placed on not a coffee table, just like a side table right next to the fireplace, I decided, you know, I could do that for this build, seeing as it is in Henford-On-Bagley, and I think I put TVs above the fireplaces in like every single one of my builds, so nothing like trying something a little bit new. And right now I'm adding a little hobby nook. I would call it a book nook, but I add the crocheting skill item, you know, with the general idea that any one of the Sims living here probably into crocheting. They do it for fun. They like sit by the stairs. If there was a small enough table, I think I would put it there. Maybe they're having like a little drink, or maybe they're watching something while they're crocheting. Although if you're gonna crochet, might as well do it at your desk in front of a monitor, but you know, that's just me. Oh my god, I don't think I put a computer in this build. Wow, that's a first. But there is a TV, so I think it's still fine. I think in the parents' room, well, what I assume would be the parents' room, you can add a desk. Yeah, and about this room, so with it being December and like Christmas time, I don't know what kind of Christmas builds I would want to do, so I thought this little like weirdly long room could be perfect for a Christmas tree. So I add some presents from Seasons, and of course the tree comes from Seasons. There are also some nutcrackers and like smaller presents that come from the holiday pack, which is free, by the way, always free content. And I add a little bright red rug underneath the tree to kind of act as like a tree skirt. I know my tree that I have in my own house definitely needs to have one, considering how often those little fake leaves fall into the carpet. Very annoying to clean up, by the way, especially after we're like all done with Christmas and we're needing to clean it back up. Yeah. And now we've moved on to the upstairs. As you can see, the hallway is like 4 tiles long. And it has all the doors to lead to the 2 bathrooms and the 3 bedrooms. I do realize there is no bathroom downstairs, but with the house being so compact, I don't think it's a problem. Here you see me try to use that same StrangerVille tile from the kitchen, and I do decide it looks terribly ugly, so I do opt for the base game matching wallpaper and tile. Now you see I've placed all the beds. I think it makes it easier to kind of plan out how I want the rooms to be if I place the beds down, kind of like mess with the swatch a little. Right now, this is what I'm imagining the grandparents' room to be. Cause I did want to mention that this house, I'm calling it a generations farmhouse just because there's room for grandparents, parents, and the grandkids. I do think it's a bit, it's kind of good fun to kind of include the interior builds. Now I'm just cluttering up the surfaces. There's more of the gardening clutter, and I think those are body essentials that I place in front of the lamp. As you can see, I added windows. Excuse me. I don't know what kind of paintings I would add to the walls because I feel like the wallpaper is already so busy, so why not add a window and let in some more light? I do add a little sofa just in case maybe the grandparents want to relax a little just a bit before bed. And now I'm working on the parents' room. Originally, I was going to use that base game bed that you saw, but I do cave in and opt for this cats and dogs bed in that minty green swatch. As you can see, with the rooms being a 4x4 room, there's a bit of struggle with me trying to figure out how I want to lay out the room. So I do decide to push up the bed against the wall. And while I haven't tested if my Sims can actually scoot over, I do know that it is possible. I don't know if it's like a player by player like possibility or if it's like a real mechanic, a part of the game. So I mean, you could always just switch the parents' room and the grandparents' room if you have two parents and one grandparent, and vice versa. So about this wallpaper, I wanted to use more of the gingham in the parents' room, so I opt for the yellow. Yes, I do realize it's odd considering the bed is green, but it was either that or gray. And I think I wanted to make this build a lot brighter than what I would usually build, or rather like a lot brighter than the usual color schemes I would often use. So in the midst of all that, I am now working on the kids' room. Those are 2 university beds. I don't like the really expensive single beds. And I try to add some clutter just so the room doesn't feel as empty as it does with how the beds are pushed up against the wall, like right across from each other. In an attempt to give these kids or teens their own personality, I do add some posters. That one on the wall right there being from Parenthood, some base game posters. And the other wall is a calendar from Cats and Dogs and a university poster. That particular university poster, I will say, is like probably one of my favorites. I just think it's so pretty. And I think it's like a mimic of a performance, maybe like a play, or heck, even opera. I mean, I don't know. That's just a guess on my part. Right now I'm just cluttering up the little area, and of course adding more windows. I do try and add like a bigger window where the headboards are, but I decided against it because I think it looked weird from the outside. And speaking on the outside, this is where we're working now. Just the porches, the front and back porch. I realize it looks very empty despite the minimal decoration that I placed here, like those 2 chairs, those little fake plants. Yeah, fake plants. And the wreath. So, assuming that I kept the wreath on the door, your Sims should still be able to walk through it. Like, similar to how Sims walk through the bathrobe on the doors in the bathrooms. It's like nothing to the Sims, and assuming you play with all the walls down, or at least like the interior walls down, you won't even see it. Now I'm just finishing up some I'm finishing up the landscaping and just adding some bushes, adding some greenery. Like I mentioned in the earlier portion of this video. And those are the planters that I add. I didn't know what I wanted to add to the big open area of the yard. So planters, a swing set, and a chicken coop. And about the swing set, I do realize the placement is a bit awkward, but I hope you don't mind. Anyways, as we're nearing the end of the video, I would like to thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I kind of made this in a rush, and the next video will be posted tomorrow. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!